John chapter 20, verses 24 to 29. Jesus appears to Thomas. One of the disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. And then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Forget for a moment everything you think you knew about Thomas. Forget that somewhere along the way, someone taught you to call him Doubting Thomas and to consider him slightly inferior to the other disciples. Forget on the whole that we use the phrase Doubting Thomas as a derogatory term. Forget you're pretty sure Jesus rebukes him for his lack of faith. Forget all of that, because many of the things that we have learned about Thomas are not actually true. Today, let's look at him in a new way. In this way, as a follower of Jesus who's experienced a disillusioning moment in his life, one that has led him to doubt. Let's look at him as a mentor, as someone we can learn from and relate to. And as we do, he will show us that doubt is a normal part of the Christian faith, especially when we encounter something we didn't expect, something that really throws us off, something that shakes us to the core and disturbs everything we thought we knew. I love what Christian theologian Paul Tillich says. Doubt isn't the opposite of faith. It is an element of faith. And maybe we learn that best from Thomas. He believes a lot, and that's important to remember. He doesn't doubt the existence of Jesus or the teachings of Jesus. He doesn't doubt that Jesus calmed the storm or walked on water, or that Jesus multiplied the loaves and fish and healed the sick and raised the dead. He doesn't doubt the supernatural power of Jesus or the crucifixion of Jesus. He was there and he saw it all happen. Thomas has a lot of faith. He believes a lot. He just has this one specific doubt, the resurrection. "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands and put my finger in the mark of the nails and my hands in his side," Thomas says, "I will not believe." The resurrection, that's his issue. What's your issue? Your question, your place of doubt? Thomas believes some and doubts some, and he's not alone. We might too, and if we do, or when we do, we remember that doubt is not the opposite of faith. It's an element of faith, and we bring it all to Jesus. Friends, let's not get all caught up in this all or nothing way of thinking, that you have to know everything before you can know anything. And if you don't know everything, then apparently you know nothing. Life just isn't like that. And neither is faith. Jesus tells us that. He says all we need is faith the size of a mustard seed. That's like the size of a piece of rice, smaller even. We bring what we have, even if what we have is this tiny. That's what Thomas is doing. He believes a lot, but he struggles with the resurrection, and not just intellectually. His doubt, it's also emotional doubt. Notice when he expresses his doubt, he doesn't say, "Unless it's true, I will not believe." He says, "Unless I see, I will never believe. He's put himself into this position where the only thing that's true is what's true for him. And now we know, or at least I hope we know, that something can be true whether we've seen it or not. But Thomas, he's just not there yet. He has trusted friends telling him that they've seen Jesus, but he says, hey, look, that is good for you, but unless I see, I will not believe. And so he's not just looking for truth or for the facts. He's looking for something more, for something that heals his heart and makes sense of the last week he's been through. Basically, he wants what all the other disciples got, and he needs it. And I get that, because when we experience something important, something devastating, we search for meaning, for healing, for footing. Thomas is doing that. Thomas, one of the 12, the disciple called the twin. In John 11, when Lazarus is sick and people are saying, we should go there, and the disciples are saying, look, we cannot go there or they will kill you, Jesus, and maybe us too. It wasn't Peter who said, let's go, let's take the risk. It wasn't James or John. It was Thomas. This guy has always been all in. And so what happened? How does he go from, let us go even if we die, to unless I see, I will not believe? A lot has happened. A lot has happened. One of his best friends, Peter, denied that he even knew Jesus after he drew a sword on some guard. And the disciples ran, all of them, including Thomas. And now they're seeing something in themselves that they didn't expect and maybe they don't even like. And Judas, they had been together, worked together, served together, fed people, taken risks. They traveled with Jesus. And now Thomas learns that it was Judas who set Jesus up and that he's taken his own life. Everything is falling apart. And all the religious leaders, the ones who are supposed to teach about God, they are the ones collaborating with Rome. And Thomas saw Jesus, whom he loved, mercilessly treated, and no one stood up to stop it. Those who could have stopped it didn't. They stepped aside in the face of brutality and injustice, and in effect, they co-signed it. And Thomas is fixed on that, on the cruelty of what happened to Jesus. And so he says, unless I see the mark of the nails and the wound in his side, he's fixed on it and probably thinking, things were supposed to be different. This is not what I thought we were doing, not what any of this was about. With intellectual doubt, we can pursue the questions. But emotional doubt, disillusionment, that can be so much tougher. Maybe some of us can relate. Maybe we've experienced things we never expected. Or seen things fall apart from the inside. Or learned things about people that really disappointed us. Or even watched religious leaders say and do things they shouldn't, or fail to say and do things they should. If so, we have a friend in Thomas. You do. I do. Like Thomas, I've had my share of disillusioning moments in life, some that really challenged me and what I believe about God and brought on whole seasons of doubt. Maybe you have too. And so I am grateful that the story and the struggle of Thomas is included in John's gospel, and grateful for this picture of Jesus leaning into that vulnerable place with him. We bring all the faith we have, friends, and the doubt too, and Jesus honors it all. He welcomes Thomas. Remember, Jesus seeks him out, not the other way around. Jesus goes behind the locked doors to the place where Thomas is hiding, to the mess and the heartbreak. 8 days later. Now, I have to be honest with you, truthfully, I don't really like this part of the text. I wish it said 8 minutes later, but it doesn't. And I don't like that because it reminds me that sometimes I'll have to wait, and so will you. And basically, we want what we want when we want it, right? Dealing with doubt, Thomas teaches me, can take time. Could be 8 days, it could be longer. Thomas waits, but not alone. He waits in doubt in the presence of the others. And that's important because we might be tempted to think that in order to doubt Jesus, we should leave the church. But Thomas shows us the opposite. The place to doubt is the church, the community of faith. Not all of them, I understand that. Not all churches welcome those who doubt or the questions that they bring. I grew up being told that doubt was the absence of faith, and if I had any doubt, then I didn't have any faith. And so don't ask, don't question, just believe. But here's what we see in today's reading, that Jesus allows for and engages doubt. And it doesn't destroy the community. It gives opportunity for growth and for miracles even. So we don't have to be afraid of it. We don't have to shush it. We can make space for it. We can struggle and grow together. We take Jesus up on his invitation to ask and seek and knock, and his promise that when we do, we will find something. So we bring all the faith we have. This is no all or nothing thing, not in the gospel and not here at Hopewell. If you have questions or doubt, your pastors are happy to walk with you on that journey with grace and kindness, and to remind you that all of us, we just bring what we have to Jesus, who greets us in peace and meets us right where we are, those who doubt and those who don't, those who have seen and those who haven't. Touch my hand and my side, he says. If that's what you need, then okay. Let's deal with your doubt, your questions together, and then move you to a place of growth. In the process and in the end, we can learn to know him better and to see him more clearly. And the statement that Jesus makes in response, blessed are those who believe without seeing. Most scholars say, and I agree, this is not a reaction to Thomas. It's not at all a rebuke of his questioning, but rather a statement about how blessed all of the rest of us will be because of Thomas and the other disciples. Because they wrestled and persevered to get to the place where they could say and teach us to say, my Lord and my God. And blessed will be those who follow us because we allow each other, as Jesus does, enough grace to doubt and wrestle and grow. May it be so. Let's pray. Like Thomas, Jesus, we believe a lot. And like Thomas, some of us doubt too. So we invite you into our midst and into our messes, behind the locked doors, to walk us through those places of uncertainty. We hear your invitation to ask, seek, and knock, and so we will, with grace and kindness for ourselves and for others. We bring what we have, Lord. Meet us where we are. Amen.